If you're new here, let me quickly tell you, we share English learning videos to help you improve your skills faster, step by step, and with plenty of real practice. In today's Advanced English Fluency Masterclass, you are going to do something truly powerful. You're going to learn 600 useful English words that are part of everyday life. These words will not only grow your vocabulary, but also build your confidence to speak naturally and fluently. We will move through different areas of daily life, from the home, to school, to work, to travel, to shopping, and even emotions and expressions. And I'll guide you with real examples and practice exercises along the way. By the end of this video, you'll have practiced and absorbed hundreds of English words that will take you closer to an advanced level, and you'll be able to use them in real conversations with ease. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss more English learning masterclasses like this one. So, take a deep breath, get ready, and let's get started on this vocabulary journey together. When we talk about building advanced English fluency, it is not only about learning complicated grammar or rare vocabulary, it's about mastering the words that people use every single day. The words that appear again and again in conversations, in stories, in workplace discussions, in travel, and in personal life. So today, we are going to start by focusing on everyday situations and the essential vocabulary that makes those situations feel easy and natural in English. Let's begin with the home. Think about the place where you wake up each morning. Your bedroom is the starting point of your day, and it's full of useful vocabulary. Words like blanket, pillow, mattress, wardrobe, and curtains. These are simple but powerful words. If you can name each item in your bedroom in English, you are already building fluency. Try this with me. Imagine you are waking up and you say, "I pulled the blanket off and placed my head back on the pillow before getting out of bed." Notice how natural it sounds when we put the words together in sentences. Now let's practice. Repeat after me slowly. This morning, I opened the curtains and let the sunlight into my room. Again. I put my clothes in the wardrobe to keep them organized. These short sentences train your brain to use the words automatically. Don't just memorize single words. Always practice them in full sentences. That's how fluency grows. From the bedroom, you might walk to the kitchen. And the kitchen is another treasure box of everyday English words. Words like stove, fridge, cupboard, spoon, knife, plate, and glass. For example, you can say, "I opened the fridge and took out a glass of milk," or "I placed the plate on the table and picked up a spoon." Each of these sentences feels real because they describe actions you actually do every single day. Let's practice together now. Repeat after me. I cooked breakfast on the stove. I washed the knife and the spoon after eating. I put the glass back in the cupboard. Each sentence is simple, but when you say it aloud, you are teaching your tongue, your lips, and your brain to work together in English. Now let's move to another daily situation. Getting ready to leave the house. You might think about words like shoes, socks, jacket, umbrella, and bag. Imagine this. I put on my shoes and jacket before leaving the house. Or, I carried my bag and held my umbrella because it was raining. These are real, practical sentences that prepare you for everyday conversations. Practice with me. Say, I wore a jacket because it was cold outside. Say, I put my socks on before putting on my shoes. Say, I took my bag with me to school. By speaking these sentences, you are practicing the natural rhythm of English. Now let's expand into the area of daily transportation. When you travel to school, to work, or to the market, you use words like bus, train, ticket, station, driver, and seat. You could say, I bought a ticket at the station, or I sat near the window on the bus. These everyday details make your English sound natural. Practice with me slowly. I waited at the bus stop for 10 minutes. I asked the driver for a ticket. I found an empty seat and sat down. Excellent. Each sentence gives you confidence to describe your world in English. Another important area of daily life is shopping. Shopping gives us words like store, cashier, basket, price, money, receipt, and bag. Imagine saying, I put the apples in the basket, or I gave the cashier some money and took the receipt. These words are not complicated, but using them again and again makes you fluent. Let's practice a few sentences together. Repeat after me. The store was full of people. I checked the price before buying the shirt. I put the receipt in my bag. Excellent. Everyday life also involves emotions. It's important to practice words that describe how you feel. Words like happy, angry, excited, tired, worried, and calm. These are not just vocabulary items, they are keys to expressing yourself in English. For example, you can say, I was excited to meet my friend, or I felt tired after walking home. Repeat after me. I am happy when I finish my work on time. I feel worried before an exam. I stay calm when I practice breathing slowly. Notice how these sentences connect your emotions to real-life situations. That is what advanced fluency means, not difficult words, but natural self-expression. Now let's pause for a small reflection. Every time you learn a new word, don't only think about its meaning, think about how to use it in a sentence, how to say it with the right feeling, and how it connects to your life. This is how you will reach the advanced level. When we think about vocabulary for everyday life, we should also include the workplace. Whether you work in an office, a shop, a school, or even from home, there are common English words that appear again and again. Words like meeting, deadline, computer, colleague, manager, project, and email. These are not just technical terms. They are real, practical words that shape your daily experience. Let's practice with some sentences. Repeat after me. I joined a meeting with my colleagues. I sent an email to my manager. I finished the project before the deadline. Notice how each sentence feels close to real life. That's what makes the practice so effective. Now imagine a conversation at work. One person says, "Did you get my email?" The other replies, "Yes, I read it this morning." Or, "We have a meeting at 10 o'clock." These small but important exchanges are the building blocks of advanced fluency. Work life also brings words about tools and technology. Words like printer, keyboard, screen, file, document, chair, and desk. You could say, I printed the document before the meeting, or I plotted the file on the desk. Simple sentences, but extremely useful in everyday situations. Practice with me slowly. I typed the letter on the keyboard. I sat on the chair and looked at the screen. I saved the file on the computer. Speaking these aloud is like exercising your muscles. The more you do it, the stronger your English becomes. Now let's step into another daily environment, school and study. Even if you are not a student anymore, school vocabulary is part of everyday English because it appears in conversations, books, and media. Words like teacher, student, classroom, subject, exam, homework, and library. For example, the teacher gave the students homework. Or, I studied for the exam in the library. Practice these sentences now. The classroom was full of students. I enjoyed reading books in the library. The subject I like most is English. Each time you speak a sentence, you are preparing yourself to use these words naturally in conversation. Think about an everyday exchange at school. A student might say, "When is the exam?" Another replies, "The exam is next week." Or, "Did you finish the homework?" These short questions and answers are real English. Practicing them makes you more confident. Daily life also includes social situations, meeting friends, talking to neighbors, or chatting with family. Here, words like visit, chat, invite, dinner, party, gift, and conversation appear often. For example, I invited my friend to dinner, or we had a nice chat after the party. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. I visited my cousin last weekend. I gave my friend a gift for her birthday. We had a long conversation about our plans. Notice how natural and warm these sentences feel. They reflect the rhythm of real communication. Now let's move to health and the doctor, another important area of daily life. Words like doctor, nurse, hospital, medicine, appointment, pain, and healthy are vital for communication. For example, I made an appointment with the doctor, or the nurse gave me some medicine. These are essential for both safety and fluency. Practice aloud now. I felt pain in my stomach. The doctor said I should eat healthy food. I went to the hospital for a checkup. Excellent. You are training yourself to express even sensitive and important topics in English. Health vocabulary can also connect to lifestyle. Words like exercise, diet, rest, strong, energy, and sleep. You might say, I exercise every morning to stay strong. Or, I need more sleep to have energy. These are natural ways to talk about your daily habits. Repeat after me. I follow a healthy diet. I try to rest when I feel tired. Exercise gives me more energy. Practicing these not only teaches vocabulary, but also helps you think about your real life in English. Now let's expand to travel vocabulary, which you need whenever you move beyond your town or city. Words like airport, passport, ticket, luggage, hotel, reservation, and map. Imagine saying, I showed my passport at the airport, or I made a reservation at the hotel. Practice now. I carried my luggage to the taxi. I bought a ticket for the train. I used a map to find the street. These are real, useful sentences for anyone who travels, whether often or occasionally. Travel also gives us conversations like, "Excuse me, where is the bus station?" Or, "I would like to book a room for 2 nights." Practicing these aloud helps you feel confident in real-life travel situations. So far, you can see how different areas of life, home, work, school, social, health, and travel, all bring essential English words into your fluency. Each one builds your confidence step by step. And remember, we are on a journey to reach 600 words together in this our class. Each word, each sentence, each practice example is moving you closer to advanced fluency. Another essential part of everyday life is food and eating. Food vocabulary is everywhere in daily conversations. Learning and practicing it will help you sound natural and confident. Common words include breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, restaurant, menu, order, waiter, bill, and delicious. Imagine saying, I had breakfast with eggs and bread, or we ordered lunch at a restaurant. These are simple, but they give you strong fluency because you use them in real situations. Now let's practice together. Repeat after me slowly. I ate dinner with my family. The waiter brought the menu to the table. The food was delicious, and I paid the bill after eating. Speaking these sentences aloud allows your tongue and brain to connect, which makes fluency smoother and faster. Think about small conversations in a restaurant. You might say, "Could I see the menu, please?" Or, "I would like to order a sandwich." Then later, "Could I have the bill, please?" These short but common exchanges are the core of everyday English practice. Food vocabulary can also connect to emotions and experiences. For example, I enjoyed the snack because it was sweet. Or, the dinner was special because we celebrated a birthday. Notice how words about food often carry feelings and stories with them. Let's practice again. I enjoyed the snack. The dinner was special. The restaurant was busy. Keep repeating slowly and clearly, because repetition creates fluency. Another area of daily life is free time and hobbies. Words like music, movie, sport, reading, painting, traveling, gardening, and shopping all describe how people spend their free time. For example, I like listening to music in the evening, or we watched a movie together, or she enjoys painting on weekends. These words make conversations richer and more personal. Practice with me now. Repeat aloud. I enjoy reading books. I play sports with my friends. Gardening makes me feel relaxed. You can also imagine a conversation like this. One person says, "What do you like to do in your free time?" And another replies, "I like traveling and listening to music." These exchanges help you express yourself in a natural way. Let's now move into the area of feelings and personality, words we use to describe people and ourselves. Words like kind, honest, friendly, hardworking, shy, polite, and serious. For example, My friend is very kind and polite. Or, he is hardworking and honest. These are qualities we talk about all the time. Practice aloud. She is friendly with everyone. I am a serious student. He is shy but also very kind. Each sentence helps you describe people in English more clearly and naturally. Think about a real-life conversation. Someone asks, "What is your teacher like?" You can answer, "She is hardworking and very friendly," or "He is serious but kind." These answers sound natural and fluent, and they are easy to practice every day. Now let's expand into the world outside, the weather and environment. Weather is one of the most common topics in small talk, so these words are very important. Words like sunny, rainy, cloudy, storm, hot, cold, wind, and snow. You could say, "Today is sunny and hot," or "It was rainy and cloudy yesterday." These words help you connect with people in conversation quickly. Practice with me. Repeat slowly. The wind is strong today. It snowed last winter. The storm was loud and scary. These are easy to say, but they make your English sound natural and fluent. A common exchange in English is, "How's the weather?" The reply might be, "It's sunny and warm today," or "It's cold and windy outside." Practicing these small exchanges will make your everyday conversations smoother. Now let's practice combining vocabulary from different areas to build longer sentences. For example, "I wore my jacket because it was cold and windy outside," or "We ate dinner at a restaurant after watching a movie," or "The teacher gave homework before the exam next week." Notice how we take words from home, weather, food, school, and hobbies, and we connect them into complete sentences. This is exactly how fluency works, combining vocabulary into real communication. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. I listened to music while cooking dinner. I carried my umbrella because it was raining. I played sports with my friends in the park. Each time you practice, your English becomes smoother and faster. Remember, fluency is not about learning difficult, rare words. It's about using the most common everyday words in natural ways. When you can do that, you will sound advanced, confident, and fluent. Daily life also includes communication, the words and expressions we use to talk with people every single day. These words are like the glue of conversation because they help us connect smoothly and politely. Some of the most useful are hello, goodbye, please, thank you, sorry, excuse me, how are you, and nice to meet you. You may think these are simple, but fluency grows strongest when you master the basics and use them confidently. Imagine a conversation. You walk into a store and say, "Hello, excuse me, can you help me?" The cashier replies, "Of course, how can I help you?" After you buy something, you say, "Thank you, have a good day." The cashier replies, "Goodbye, see you again." This short exchange is a perfect example of how basic words carry powerful communication in real life. Practice aloud with me. Repeat. Hello, how are you? Excuse me, can you help me? Thank you so much. Goodbye, see you tomorrow. These sentences sound simple, but they are essential for fluency because you will use them every day. Let's now look at time vocabulary, because time expressions guide all of our daily conversations. Words like morning, afternoon, evening, night, yesterday, today, tomorrow, week, and month. Imagine saying, I will see you tomorrow afternoon, or I studied yesterday evening, or today is a busy morning. These expressions make your English sound natural and clear. Practice with me slowly. I wake up every morning at 7. I will call you tomorrow night. Yesterday was a long day. We will meet next week. By practicing time expressions in sentences, you make it easier to tell stories and plan events in English. Now think about directions and places. Another important area of everyday English. Words like left, right, straight, corner, street, road, bridge, park, market, and bank. Imagine you are asking, "Excuse me, where is the bank?" Someone replies, "Go straight, then turn left at the corner." These small but useful words are necessary when traveling, exploring, or just finding your way. Practice aloud now. The park is on the right side of the street. Go straight ahead to the market. Turn left after the bridge. These sentences give you confidence when moving around in English-speaking areas. Think about real conversations. One person says, "How do I get to the station?" Another replies, "Go straight and take a right at the corner." Practicing these short exchanges prepares you for real travel situations where clear English is most important. Another daily life area is money, because money words appear in so many situations. Words like cash, coins, credit card, price, cost, change, expensive, and cheap. For example, the price of the book was expensive. Let's practice now. Repeat slowly. I paid in cash. The shoes were cheap but comfortable. I don't have coins, only notes. The cost was high, but the quality was good. These are natural sentences that make everyday money talk easy in English. Money also connects to conversations like, "How much does this cost?" Or, "Do you accept credit cards?" Or, "Can I have the change, please?" These questions and answers are practical and simple, but also very powerful for real-world fluency. Now let's step into feelings of daily routines and habits. The words we use to describe what we do regularly, words like wake up, brush, eat, work, study, relax, sleep, and repeat. For example, I wake up and brush my teeth every morning. Or, after work, I relax and watch TV. Practice with me now. I study English every day. I eat lunch at noon. I sleep at 10 every night. I relax after work by listening to music. These habit sentences are powerful because the more you connect English to your real routines, the stronger your fluency becomes. Now let's combine areas together. Imagine saying, I woke up early in the morning, brushed my teeth, ate breakfast, and then went straight to the station to take the train to work. This long sentence connects time words, daily routine words, and travel words all together. That is exactly how advanced fluency feels. Joining simple vocabulary into longer natural speech. Practice aloud now. Repeat after me. I had dinner with my family in the evening and then watched a movie before going to sleep. Again. I went to the bank yesterday to take out some cash and then walked to the market on the corner. One more. Tomorrow morning, I will go to the park for exercise. Each sentence is full of common vocabulary, but when you say it aloud, it sounds fluent and advanced. Remember, Building fluency is like building a house. You start with simple bricks, words like bag, bus, market, thank you, and yesterday. But when you combine the bricks together with practice sentences, you build walls, doors, and a strong structure. Your fluency becomes the house where you can live comfortably in English. Another important area of everyday English is travel within a city, using transportation, asking questions, and giving directions. Let's look at words like station, platform, ticket, fare, driver, passenger, bus stop, train, and subway. These words are part of daily routines for millions of people, and if you can use them naturally, your English becomes immediately more useful. Imagine a short situation. You are at a bus stop, and someone asks, "When will the bus arrive?" You answer, "The bus arrives in 10 minutes," or "The fare is $2. These quick answers feel simple, but they are the foundation of advanced fluency. Now let's practice together. Repeat after me. I bought a ticket at the station. The driver stopped at the platform. The passengers waited at the bus stop. Again. I traveled by subway to work. Excellent. Each sentence is training your mouth to produce English smoothly. Let's expand into daily errands, the small but frequent tasks we do every week. Words like post office, letter, package, bank, deposit, withdraw, pharmacy, and prescription. For example, I sent a package at the post office, or I withdrew some money from the bank, or the doctor gave me a prescription and I bought the medicine at the pharmacy. Practice aloud now. I deposited money at the bank. I mailed a letter at the post office. I filled the prescription at the pharmacy. These are extremely practical because they describe the small things you do every day in life. Daily life also involves technology, and modern English conversations often include words like phone, call, message, internet, password, app, download, and Wi-Fi. For example, I made a phone call to my friend, or I sent a message using the app, or I connected to the Wi-Fi at the cafe. Practice with me. Repeat. I downloaded a new app. I forgot my password. I used the internet to study. I received a phone call from my manager. These sentences reflect the reality of modern life. English is everywhere in technology, and using these words helps you keep up with conversations. Now let's explore family vocabulary, because family words are often used in introductions, stories, and personal conversations. Words like mother, father, sister, brother, uncle, aunt, cousin, grandmother, and grandfather. You could say, "My mother cooked dinner last night," or "My brother plays football at school," or "I visited my grandmother on Sunday." Practice aloud now. My sister studies English. I went to the park with my cousin. My father works in an office. My aunt gave me a gift. These sentences help you describe your family naturally in English conversations. Now think about relationships and friendship. Words like friend, neighbor, classmate, colleague, partner, and relative. Imagine saying, "My friend invited me to dinner," or "My neighbor helped me with the garden," or "My colleague joined me in the meeting." Practice with me slowly. I have a good friend at school. My colleague is hardworking. I talked to my neighbor yesterday. Each sentence feels natural, and practicing them makes your English ready for everyday use. Let's move into the market and shopping vocabulary again, but with more detail. Words like discount, sale, cashier, checkout, queue, receipt, basket, and queue, stomer. Imagine saying, "I waited in the queue at the checkout," or "The cashier gave me a receipt," or "There was a discount on shoes." Practice aloud. "The customer paid at the cashier." "I put the apples in the basket." "I got a discount during the sale." These sentences prepare you for shopping conversations, which are part of everyday city life. Now let's combine all these areas: transportation, errands, family, and shopping into longer practice sentences. For example, I went with my sister to the station to buy a ticket. Then we traveled by train to the city, visited our cousin, and later bought some clothes during a sale at the market. This sentence combines family, travel, and shopping vocabulary in one natural flow. Practice with me slowly. Yesterday, I went to the post office to send a package. Then I called my friend on the phone and invited him for dinner at a restaurant. Another. My father withdrew money from the bank, and then he bought groceries at the market before going home. Another. I downloaded a new app on my phone and sent a message to my colleague about tomorrow's meeting. Each of these practice sentences takes simple vocabulary and builds it into advanced fluency. Remember, fluency means confidence, and confidence comes from practice. Every word you repeat, every sentence you say aloud, every moment you imagine yourself in a real-life situation. All of this adds up. You are not just memorizing words. You are creating the ability to think, speak, and live in English. Let's now explore vocabulary for the house in more detail. You already know words like bedroom and kitchen, but let's go deeper into the parts of a home. Words like living room, sofa, carpet, lamp, television, shelf, mirror, bathroom, shower, sink, and toilet. Imagine describing your home to someone in English. You could say, "The AC living room has a sofa and a carpet," or "There is a mirror above the sink in the bathroom." Practice aloud with me. I sat on the sofa and watched television. I turned on the lamp next to the bed. The shelf was full of books. I cleaned the bathroom sink. Notice how these sentences are short but very real. They describe things you do and see every day. Now imagine a longer description. Yesterday evening, I sat on the sofa in the living room, turned on the lamp, watched television, and then took a shower before going to bed. This single sentence connects many words into one smooth story. That is advanced fluency, not just knowing words, but weaving them into natural speech. Let's practice together. Repeat. The carpet is soft under my feet. The mirror is on the wall. The bathroom has a shower and a toilet. Each time you practice, your brain builds stronger connections for these words. Now, let's talk about cleaning vocabulary, because it's part of daily home life too. Words like broom, mop, vacuum, soap, bucket, sponge, dust, and trash. You might say, I used a broom to clean the floor, or I put the trash in the bin, or the vacuum cleaned the carpet. Practice aloud now. I filled the bucket with water and used a mop. I washed the dishes with soap and a sponge. I took the trash outside. Cleaning words are not glamorous, but they are very practical, and using them helps you describe life naturally in English. Now let's shift to emotions again, but with more advanced everyday vocabulary. Words like confused, relieved, proud, curious, jealous, and surprised. For example, I was confused by the directions, or she felt proud of her work, or he was surprised by the gift. Practice with me. I felt relieved after the exam. She was curious about the new phone. He was jealous of his friend's success. Emotions give depth to your speech, and they help you connect to others more personally in English. Now imagine conversations. Someone says, "How did you feel after the test?" You could reply, "I felt relieved," or "I was proud because I studied hard," or "I was confused by some questions." These simple exchanges become powerful when you use emotional vocabulary fluently. Let's expand into another daily life area, food in detail. You already practiced words like breakfast and restaurant, but let's add more specific food vocabulary. Words like fruit, vegetables, meat, fish, rice, bread, butter, sugar, salt, and spice. For example, I cooked rice with vegetables, or I put butter on the bread, or the fish was cooked with spices. Practice aloud now. I like eating fresh fruit. I need sugar for my tea. I bought meat and fish at the market. Salt makes food taste better. These are words you will use almost every day, so practicing them is essential. Now, let's try longer sentences. I bought vegetables and fruit at the market, cooked rice with meat, and added salt and spices to make the meal delicious. This long practice sentence connects shopping, cooking, and eating vocabulary all at once. Practice with me again. I spread butter on the bread and ate it for breakfast. The fish was fresh, and the vegetables were green. Sugar makes cakes sweet. Excellent. Each sentence you practice is one more step toward advanced fluency. Now let's go outside again, to public places. Words like school, office, hospital, library, museum, cinema, restaurant, and park. You could say, I went to the library to borrow a book, or we visited the museum on Saturday, or they watched a movie at the cinema. Practice aloud. The hospital is near the park. I had lunch at a restaurant. The school is across the street. We went to the cinema in the evening. These public place words are used every day in conversations about daily plans and routines. Now think about connecting them into stories. For example, yesterday I went to the park, then walked to the library to read, and later had dinner at a restaurant before watching a movie at the cinema. This single sentence joins 4 areas of vocabulary and creates a natural English story. Practice with me now. I studied at school, then played in the park. I visited the museum and then ate at a restaurant. The hospital is across from the library. Practicing these out loud gives you confidence to describe your life clearly in English. Remember, every word is like a small tool, but when you put the tools together, you can build something powerful. In English, that something is your fluency, the ability to express any part of your life, any story, any experience, with ease. Let's now move into the world of work in more detail. At work, you often need to talk about tasks, responsibilities, and communication. Words like task, report, deadline, meeting, presentation, project, boss, and team. For example, I finished my task before the deadline. Or, our team had a meeting with the boss. Or, I gave a presentation about the project. These sentences show how practical workplace vocabulary is. Practice with me. Repeat aloud. I wrote a report for my boss. The meeting was long but important. The team worked together on the project. I prepared a presentation for tomorrow. These sentences give you confidence when speaking about professional situations in English. Now, imagine real conversations at work. Someone says, "Can you send me the report?" You answer, "Yes, I will send it this afternoon." Or, "When is the deadline for the project?" The reply might be, "The deadline is next Friday." These everyday exchanges are part of professional fluency. Let's expand into the office environment. Words like desk, chair, printer, document, computer, keyboard, and notebook. You could say, "I sat at my desk and opened my notebook," or "I printed the document with the printer," or "I typed the report on the computer." Practice aloud now. I placed my notebook on the desk. The printer is next to the computer. I typed quickly on the keyboard. These words are not just for the office. They also appear in study, home, and technology conversations. Now let's turn to another important part of life, health and fitness. Beyond the hospital and doctor, there are daily lifestyle words like exercise, stretch, run, walk, gym, yoga, healthy, fit, and diet. You could say, "I walk every morning to stay fit," or "She goes to the gym 3 times a week," or "Yoga helps me stay calm and healthy. Practice with me slowly." "I stretch every day." "I eat a healthy diet." "He runs in the park in the evening." "We go to the gym together." Fitness words are useful in casual conversations, and they also help you talk about your daily habits with confidence. Now imagine a conversation between two people. One asks, "Do you exercise regularly?" The other replies, "Yes, I go for a run every morning," or "I prefer yoga because it helps me relax." Practicing these short dialogues builds fluency for health and lifestyle topics. Let's now talk about seasons and nature, vocabulary that appears often in small talk, travel, and everyday speech. Words like spring, summer, autumn, winter, season, flowers, trees, mountain, river, and beach. For example, "I love spring because the flowers bloom," or "We went to the beach in summer," or "The mountain was covered in snow during winter." Practice aloud now. Autumn leaves are beautiful. The river flows through the city. We climbed the mountain last year. The beach was sunny and warm. These words not only describe the weather, but also create stories about nature and travel. Now think about conversations. One person asks, What is your favorite season? You might answer, I like summer because I can go to the beach. Or, I prefer winter because I enjoy the snow. These everyday exchanges are simple, but they show natural fluency. Let's expand again into social life vocabulary. Words like celebration, festival, holiday, birthday, wedding, gift, cake, and party. You could say, we celebrated her birthday with cake and gifts. Or, the wedding was beautiful. Or, we went to a festival during the holiday. Practice aloud now. I gave a gift at the wedding. The party was full of music and dancing. We ate cake at the birthday celebration. These are happy, common words that connect directly to your personal life experiences. Now let's connect multiple areas into longer practice sentences. For example, in the summer, we went to the beach for a holiday, celebrated my sister's birthday with a party, and then returned home to relax. Another. I printed a report at work, gave a presentation to my boss, and then went to the gym in the evening to exercise. Practice with me. During winter, I stayed home, drank tea, and read books near the heater. We had a festival in autumn where people danced, ate food, and gave gifts. I walked to the park in the morning, stretched, and then went shopping at the market. Each of these sentences mixes vocabulary areas: home, nature, health, and social life into natural communication. Remember, practice is not about speed, it's about rhythm. Speak slowly, clearly, and with confidence. When you repeat sentences like these, you are not only learning words, you are training yourself to think in English naturally. Let's now look at communication beyond greetings, the everyday phrases that make conversations flow. Words and expressions like ask, answer, question, reply, explain, discuss, share, and agree. These are words you hear all the time, especially when people are exchanging ideas. For example, I asked a question in class. She replied with a clear answer. We discussed the plan and agreed on it. Practice with me, slowly. I asked my friend for help. He answered my question politely. We shared our ideas during the meeting. They agreed to start tomorrow. These sentences teach you not just words, but the rhythm of English conversation. Now imagine a real dialogue. One person says, "Can I ask you something?" The other replies, "Yes, of course. What is it?" Or, "We need to discuss the project." The reply could be, "Yes, let's share our ideas now." Practicing small conversations like this makes you ready for real-life fluency. Let's move to another area of daily life: transportation, in detail. Words like traffic, road, crossing, traffic light, bridge, tunnel, driver, passenger, and ride. You might say, the traffic was heavy on the road, or the driver stopped at the traffic light, or we went through a tunnel. Practice aloud now. I walked across the crossing. The passenger sat quietly in the back seat. The bridge connects two cities. The ride was long, but comfortable. Each sentence connects English words to real experiences you may have daily. Think about a real conversation on this topic. One person says, "How long was the ride?" The reply, "It was 30 minutes because of heavy traffic." Or, "Where is the crossing?" The reply, It's near the bridge. These natural exchanges show how practical vocabulary becomes part of smooth communication. Now let's talk about emotions again, but in action, with verbs that show feelings. Words like smile, laugh, cry, shout, whisper, and hug. For example, she smiled when she saw her friend. He laughed at the joke. The child cried when he was tired. Practice aloud with me. I shouted because I was angry. She whispered a secret. They hugged after the game. These action words give energy to your English, making your stories and conversations come alive. Now let's explore shopping again, focusing on clothes. Words like shirt, pants, dress, shoes, coat, hat, scarf, and socks. You might say, I bought a new shirt and pants, or she wore a dress and shoes, or he put on a coat and a scarf because it was cold. Practice aloud now. I wore socks with my shoes. The hat was too big. The dress looked beautiful. The coat kept me warm. Clothing vocabulary is very common because people often talk about what they wear, what they buy, and what they see others wearing. Think about a small conversation. One person asks, "Where did you buy that shirt?" The other answers, "I bought it at the market." Or, "Do you like my new shoes?" The reply, "Yes, they look comfortable." Simple conversations like these are part of everyday fluency. Now let's expand to feelings connected with shopping. I was excited to buy a new coat. She felt happy when she wore her dress. He was disappointed because the shoes were too small. Adding emotions to situations makes your English sound richer and more advanced. Let's now practice combining areas again. For example, I smiled when my friend gave me a gift of new shoes. Another, we laughed together at the party, and I wore my favorite dress. Another, the traffic was heavy, so I arrived late to the store and missed the sale. These longer sentences mix feelings, clothes, shopping, and transportation. Just like real life, practice aloud, slowly. I put on my coat because it was raining. Then I took a ride to the market, bought a shirt, and thanked the cashier. My cousin wore a hat and scarf to the festival, where we danced, laughed, and shared food. Each sentence is long but natural, and repeating them helps you join vocabulary into fluent speech. Remember, advanced fluency is not only knowing words, but being able to connect them smoothly into stories, experiences, and emotions. When you practice like this, you move step by step toward thinking directly in English. Let's now move into vocabulary for the natural world around us. We often talk about things we see outside every day: trees, flowers, grass, animals, sky, sun, moon, and stars. For example, the trees in the park were tall and green, or the flowers smelled sweet in the garden, or the stars were bright in the night sky. Practice with me. The sun shines in the morning. The moon looks beautiful at night. The grass is soft under my feet. The flowers are colorful. These are sentences you can easily imagine, which makes them powerful for practice. Now let's talk about animals, because animals are part of everyday conversations too. Words like dog, cat, bird, cow, horse, sheep, fish, and chicken. You could say, the dog barked loudly, or the cat slept on the sofa, or the birds sang in the trees. Practice aloud now. The horse ran fast. The sheep ate grass. The fish swam in the river. The chicken laid eggs. These simple animal sentences are very useful because you may hear or use them often in daily life. Now imagine a small conversation. One person asks, "Do you have a pet?" The other replies, "Yes, I have a dog." Or, "No, but my neighbor has a cat." Another person could ask, "What's your favorite animal?" And you might reply, "I like birds because they sing." Practicing these short exchanges gives you confidence. Let's now explore food again, but this time focusing on drinks and dining. Words like water, juice, tea, coffee, milk, soup, and wine. For example, I drink coffee in the morning, or she had a glass of juice, or they enjoyed a bowl of soup. Practice with me slowly. I drank a glass of water. He poured milk into the cup. We had tea after dinner. They ordered wine at the restaurant. These sentences reflect common habits and polite conversations around food and drink. Now let's build conversations. Someone asks, "Would you like some tea?" You reply, "Yes, please, I'd love some." Or, "Do you drink coffee every morning?" You reply, "Yes, I always drink a cup before work." These exchanges are short but real. They help you sound fluent. Now, let's go to places in the city. Words like bank, market, station, supermarket, restaurant, school, pharmacy, and cinema. For example, I went to the supermarket to buy rice. Or, we met at the cinema to watch a movie. Or, he went to the bank to withdraw money. Practice aloud. The pharmacy is near the market. The restaurant is full of people. We walked to the station. The supermarket sells fresh fruit. These sentences prepare you for conversations about daily plans and activities. Now let's talk about communication with technology in more detail. Words like text, call, video, online, email, photo, camera, and screen. For example, I sent a text to my friend, or she made a video call, or he checked his email on the computer. Practice aloud now. I took a photo with my camera. The screen was bright. I watched a video online. She replied to my email. These sentences are part of modern life and appear often in daily conversations. Imagine small conversations around this. One person says, "Can you send me the photo?" The reply, "Yes, I will send it by email." Or, "Did you watch the video?" The reply, "Yes, I watched it online." These small exchanges bring practice closer to reality. Now, let's turn to travel again, but this time focusing on hotels and trips. Words like room, key, rec, option, check-in, check-out, reservation, guest, and service. For example, we made a reservation at the hotel. Or, the guest asked for the room key. Or, they checked out in the morning. Practice with me. I checked in at reception. The service was excellent. The guest stayed for 3 nights. We lost the room key. These are practical travel sentences that you can imagine using anytime you visit another city. Now, combine several areas into one story. For example, I traveled to the city, checked into a hotel, drank tea at the restaurant, and then went to the cinema to watch a movie. Another, my friend sent me a text on my phone asking if I wanted to go to the supermarket, so we met there after school. Another, the dog barked loudly in the park, while children played on the grass, and people drank juice. Practice aloud now. Yesterday, I emailed my colleague, walked to the bank, bought fresh fruit at the market, and then relaxed at home. The birds sang in the morning, the sun was bright, and I smiled while drinking my coffee. These longer practice sentences train you to connect simple vocabulary into fluent English speech. Remember, fluency is like music. Each word is a note. Each sentence is a melody. And when you practice them together, you create the rhythm of natural English conversation. Now let's talk about feelings that describe daily moods. Words like bored, interested, excited, relaxed, worried, nervous, and confident. These words help you share how you feel in different situations. For example, I was bored during the long meeting, or she felt excited before her trip, or he was confident during the presentation. Practice with me slowly. I feel relaxed when I listen to music. She was nervous before the exam. They were interested in the story. He felt worried about the result. These short sentences help you describe not only your actions but also your emotions in English. Now imagine real conversations. One person asks, "How do you feel about tomorrow's interview?" You could reply, "I feel nervous but also confident." Or, "Are you excited about the party?" The reply might be, "Yes, I'm very excited." These everyday exchanges give your English natural flow. Let's now focus on home activities, things we do daily inside the house. Words like cook, wash, clean, fix, repair, organize, decorate, and paint. You could say, "I cooked dinner last night," or "She washed the clothes," or "He fixed the broken chair." Practice aloud now. I cleaned the kitchen. We decorated the room with flowers. They painted the wall blue. I organized my desk. These sentences connect vocabulary to actions that are part of real life. Now let's turn to weather again, but with more expressions that people often use. Words like rain, snow, wind, storm, hot, cold, fog, and temperature. For example, "It rained all day yesterday," or "The snow covered the ground," or "The storm made the wind strong." Practice slowly. The temperature is hot in summer. It was cold this morning. The fog made it hard to see. The rain stopped in the evening. These short sentences are useful because weather is one of the most common topics of small talk in English. Now, let's create conversations with weather. One person says, "How's the weather today?" The reply, "It's cold and windy." Another person might ask, "Will it rain tomorrow?" The reply, "Yes, the forecast says rain." These natural exchanges are easy to practice and appear often in real life. Now let's explore school again, but focusing on subjects and learning. Words like math, science, history, English, art, music, and geography. For example, math is my favorite subject. Or, I studied history yesterday. Or, She enjoys music lessons. Na. Practice with me. We had a science class this morning. Art is very interesting. Geography teaches us about countries. I want to improve my English. These sentences bring school life into your fluency practice. Now imagine a classroom conversation. The teacher asks, "What subject do you like most?" A student replies, "I like English because I want to speak fluently." Another might say, "I enjoy art because it is creative." Practicing dialogues like this helps you answer naturally in real-life situations. Let's now talk about celebrations in more detail. Words like birthday, anniversary, holiday, festival, gift, balloon, fireworks, and music. You could say, "We celebrated his birthday with balloons and music," or "They gave gifts on their anniversary," or "The fireworks were beautiful during the festival." Practice aloud. I bought a gift for my friend's birthday. We watched fireworks on New Year's Eve. The holiday was full of music. The festival was crowded with people. These happy words give you fluency for positive and joyful situations. Now let's connect multiple areas into longer stories. For example, yesterday was my friend's birthday, so we decorated the room, cooked food, played music, and gave gifts before watching fireworks. Or, during summer, the weather was hot, so I went to the park with my cousin, drank juice, and later studied English in the library. Or, the teacher asked us to write about our favorite subject, and I explained why I enjoy science. Practice aloud slowly. I felt nervous before my exam, but relaxed after finishing it. We painted the wall in our living room, cleaned the house, and then invited friends for dinner. It rained in the morning, but the sun came out in the evening, so we went for a walk. Each long practice sentence combines multiple everyday words, which is the true key to fluency. Remember, fluency is not memorizing lists of words. Fluency is living the words through practice, repeating them in sentences, and using them to share your real thoughts and feelings. Let's now talk about feelings connected with time, because time words often carry emotions too. Imagine saying, "I was happy yesterday when I met my friend," or "I feel tired today after working all night," or "I will be excited tomorrow because of the trip." Notice how we combine time words with feelings to make sentences more complete. Practice with me slowly. I was worried yesterday before the exam. I feel relaxed today because it is Sunday. I will be confident tomorrow during the meeting. These short sentences give you the ability to talk about your past, present, and future with natural fluency. Now let's expand into travel again, but this time focusing on directions and asking for help. Words like map, guide, sign, address, location, distance, and nearby. For example, I checked the map for the location, or the sign showed the distance to the park, or I asked for the address of the hotel. Practice aloud now. The guide explained the way. The market is nearby. The address is written on the paper. The distance is short. We can walk. These sentences are useful for real travel situations. Imagine a short conversation. One person says, "Excuse me, can you tell me the address?" The reply, "Yes, it is nearby, just down the road." Or, "How far is the station?" The reply, "It's a short distance, about 10 minutes." These natural exchanges prepare you for real-life speaking moments. Now let's talk about housework again, but this time with kitchen activities. Words like boil, fry, bake, mix, cut, slice, and taste. You might say, I boiled water for tea, or she fried eggs for breakfast, or he baked bread in the oven. Practice aloud with me. I cut the vegetables with a knife. She sliced the bread. We mixed sugar and milk into the coffee. The food tasted delicious. These actions are coding, and practical, and using them helps you speak naturally about food and cooking. Now let's turn to jobs and professions, words we use when talking about work and careers. Words like teacher, doctor, engineer, driver, nurse, farmer, police officer, and chef. For example, the teacher explained the lesson, or the doctor helped the patient, or the driver parked the bus. Practice with me. The nurse gave medicine to the child. The engineer designed the bridge. The farmer grew rice. The chef cooked a delicious meal. These sentences are useful because people often talk about their jobs and the jobs of others. Now imagine conversations. Someone asks, "What does your father do?" The reply, "He is a driver." Another person asks, "What do you want to be in the future?" You reply, "I want to be a teacher." These natural exchanges are part of daily introductions and social interactions. Let's also practice emergency vocabulary, because it is very important for daily safety. Words like fire, police, ambulance, accident, emergency, help, and danger. You could say, the fire was dangerous, or we called the police after the accident, or the ambulance came quickly. Practice aloud now. I shouted for help. The emergency was serious. There was danger on the road. The police arrived fast. These sentences prepare you for critical, real-life situations where English may be needed. Now let's connect different areas into longer practice sentences again. For example, yesterday I helped my father cut vegetables in the kitchen, then we baked bread, and later I studied for my exam with my teacher's notes. Another, I met a guide at the station who showed me the map, gave me the address of the hotel, and explained the distance to the market. Another, the doctor and nurse worked together in the hospital to help the patient after the accident while the ambulance waited outside. Practice aloud slowly. I boiled rice, fried eggs, and sliced bread before eating dinner with my family. The police officer explained the danger after the fire. The engineer built a bridge, and the driver tested the road nearby. These longer sentences build fluency by connecting simple words into complete stories. Remember, fluency comes when you practice both short sentences and longer ones. Short ones build speed and rhythm. Long ones build structure and confidence. Together, they move you closer to thinking and speaking naturally in English. Let's now look at vocabulary for feelings during conversations. Polite expressions that make English sound natural and respectful. Words and phrases like please, thank you, you're welcome, sorry, excuse me, that's okay, and no problem. You might say, please help me with this bag, or thank you for your kindness. And the reply, you're welcome. It's no problem. These polite words are the heart of everyday English. Practice with me slowly. Excuse me, can you tell me the time? I'm sorry I was late. Thank you very much. That's okay, don't worry. When you practice these polite exchanges, you build fluency for social life and create confidence in real conversations. Now let's talk about daily routines again, but add more detail. Words like wake up, brush, dress, eat, study, work, rest, and sleep. For example, I wake up at 7, brush my teeth, and eat breakfast. Or, she studies in the morning and works in the afternoon. Or, we rested after dinner and went to sleep. Practice aloud now. I brushed my teeth this morning. He dressed quickly for school. They worked all day and rested at night. She ate lunch with her friends. These sentences are everyday actions that keep your English connected to real life. Now let's practice some longer routines. For examples, I woke up early, brushed my teeth, ate breakfast, went to work, met my colleague, finished my tasks, and then returned home to relax. Another, she studied English in the morning, visited the library in the afternoon, and went shopping at the market in the evening before sleeping. These practice sentences take many words we learned and combine them naturally. Now let's focus on feelings with family and friends. Words like love, care, support, miss, help, and trust. You could say, I love my family, or she supports her friends, or he missed his parents when he traveled. Practice with me. I helped my cousin with homework. We trust our teacher. They cared for their grandmother. She missed her friend after moving away. These emotional words make your English personal and warm, which is key to advanced fluency. Now imagine a small conversation. One person says, "Do you miss your family?" The reply, "Yes, I miss them very much." Or, "Who helps you with your studies?" The reply, "My brother helps me." These short dialogues prepare you for daily social talk. Let's expand into festivals and culture again. Words like music, dance, song, food, celebrate, tradition, and parade. For example, we danced during the festival, or the parade was full of music, or they celebrated with traditional food. Practice aloud now. The song was beautiful. We ate delicious food at the festival. The tradition is very old. The parade was colorful. Each of these words connects language with life experiences and culture. Now let's try longer practice sentences that mix everything we've learned. For example, yesterday I woke up early, brushed my teeth, dressed quickly, and went to the station where I bought a ticket, met my colleague, and traveled to work. Another, during the festival, we danced to music, ate traditional food, gave gifts to friends, and watched fireworks in the night sky. Another, I studied in the library, then helped my brother with homework, later cooked dinner with my mother, and finally rested before sleeping. Practice aloud with me. I missed my friend, so I called her on the phone, we chatted online, and then we planned to meet at a restaurant tomorrow. The weather was rainy, so I took an umbrella, wore my coat, and walked to the market to buy vegetables and bread. My teacher explained the lesson, I asked a question, and she replied kindly. These longer stories give you practice in flowing English, just like native speakers. Finally, let's practice some motivational sentences with the new vocabulary we've built. Repeat after me slowly. I am confident when I speak English. I practice every day, and I feel my fluency growing. I enjoy learning new words and using them in sentences. I believe I can reach the advanced level. Now let's try combining confidence with real life. I was nervous yesterday, but today I feel confident because I practiced. I was confused before, but now I understand and I feel proud. I will be excited tomorrow to use my new vocabulary in conversation. These sentences not only teach words, but also give you energy to keep learning. Remember, every single word we practiced in this masterclass is a step toward advanced fluency. We moved from the home to the market, from family to friends, from work to school, from travel to festivals, from emotions to culture. Step by step, you have practiced 600 everyday words in sentences, conversations, and stories. And now you can feel proud, because you didn't just memorize words, you learned how to live with them in English. So keep repeating, keep practicing, and keep speaking out loud every day, because fluency comes from practice, and practice builds confidence, and with confidence, you can reach the advanced English level you dream of. Thank you so much for joining me in today's masterclass. You've just learned and practiced 600 everyday English words, and that's an incredible achievement. Remember, fluency doesn't come in one day. It grows. Every time you practice, repeat, and use the words in your real life. If you enjoyed this lesson and you want more, make sure to subscribe to English in Minutes. Press the bell icon so you never miss our new lessons. And don't forget to like this video and share it with friends who are also learning English. Keep practicing every day, even 10 minutes, of speaking out loud, repeating sentences, or shadowing what you hear will bring you closer to the advanced level. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. I'll be here with you in every new lesson to guide you step by step. So, stay motivated, stay confident, and keep speaking English every single day. Until next time, this is Natasha, wishing you success and fluency in everything you do.